Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I am so delighted that you are here with me today. I want to thank you for joining me. And I want to remind you that if you like this podcast, you can become a patron. You can join me over on Patreon for 2 extra episodes a week. Plus, if you join the all-inclusive tier, you'll also get free reading, free guided meditation. So check it out. The link is in the show notes. I would love to have you over there. All right, guys. So today's episode is all about how to deal with things when your life isn't going as planned. We have all been there. We have this idea of what our life should be like. And this can be in any situation, your job, your relationships, whatever. We have this idea of what our life is going to be like. And then all of a sudden things take a turn and things don't work out the way that you thought they would. This happens to all of us at some point in our lives. And everyone has a choice in how they deal with it. And it can be extremely tough to deal with unexpected surprises that throw you off balance. But I want to talk to you today about how to deal with it in a healthier way that allows you to get through it better with more ease and more grace. Because let's face it, you're a human being and we're on this planet Earth. Life is always going to throw you curveballs. It just is. Because we're here to learn and grow, and that's what happens. If your life was easy and never changed, you wouldn't learn anything. And the whole point of us being here is to learn and to grow. And I know some of you are saying, I'm tired of learning. I'm done. I've learned enough. But you haven't. This is why you're here. So we need to have patience when life is challenging. And I'm telling you this as someone who has faced many challenges. I am not sitting here from my beachfront home with my gazillion-dollar job and beautiful, wonderful relationship telling you these things. I'm telling you this as someone who's out there living and working in the real world and experiencing all the things that life throws at me. So I know exactly where you are. I've been where you are. I still am where you are sometimes. I'm still learning and growing. I understand how difficult it can be, and I understand how frustrating it can be. It can be super frustrating. And you may want to get angry. You may want to throw a tantrum like a 2-year-old, because trust me, I've been there, wanted to do that before. You may want to give God an ultimatum. You may want to cry. There may be so many reactions you have when life doesn't go your way. That's normal. It really is. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be your normal that when things don't go your way, you completely let it turn your life upside down. It doesn't have to cause you to go into this mode where your life is upheaved and you don't know what to do anymore. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be something that teaches you and then allows you to move forward, having learned something, being better, taking the lessons, but not allowing yourself to become a bitter person. And that is super important, because it would be so easy just to get angry, to throw a fit, to question why, and to want to throw in the towel. But that isn't really going to help you, and you're just going to be miserable, stuck down there having a pity party. But I get it. That's the easiest thing to do. So what do you do when something doesn't go your way? Maybe you lose a job, or maybe you lose a relationship. Perhaps someone around you is ill. It throws you for a loop, and you're not really sure what to do. So how can you get through this time? When something you did not want to happen happens to you, how do you get through it with ease and with grace? So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to let it go. And when I say let it go, what I mean is to let the pain go, to let the frustration, the anger, all of those emotions that are not serving you well, how to let those things go. To hold on to the lesson. And sometimes it's about finding what the lesson was. Like, what was this? Why did I have to go through this? And then being able to move forward in your life. The first thing you need to do is to admit to yourself that this is a loss. Yes, I've lost this job. Yes, I've lost this relationship. I've lost it. Because learning how to accept what's happened is the first step. Because a lot of people go through denial, and I get that too. I want to deny what's happening around me and believe that, things will get better. That's not necessarily helpful. You have to admit, okay, I've lost this thing and it hurt a lot. So admit to yourself, this didn't go the way I wanted to. It's okay to admit it, even when it hurts a little bit because maybe you played a part in it. That's okay. We're not judging ourselves. We're just admitting this bad thing happened that I didn't want to happen. I've got to admit that it happened. I need to accept that it happened. If you're feeling angry and resentment or any other negative emotions, which is normal, it's absolutely normal. But take that, turn it into something else. So if you lost a job, take that anger and resentment and turn it into motivation to help you find a better job. Or if you lost that relationship, turn it into self-love that you put back on yourself, and you work on yourself to figure out how to be better in the next relationship, or how to pick out someone better for the next relationship. Use what you're feeling to motivate you to do something better. And there's always a way, because even if it's the loss of a loved one, you can turn that into, well, I'm going to use this to help educate people on this illness that they succumb to. Or I'm going to donate my time working for this charity for this illness that they succumb to. Use that to motivate you to do something positive. Take something that was a very negative thing and turn around and try to make it a positive thing. There's always a way to do that. There really is. We just have to sometimes be creative in how we do that. What I say is when we put all of our attention on somebody else and what's happening with somebody else, especially if it's a loss of a relationship, it is a signal to us that it's time to take that attention and focus off that other person and put it back on ourselves again. Do some things that really make you happy and that really cause you to love yourself again. When we get in relationships sometimes, especially if they're unhealthy and they're toxic, we tend to get lost in the relationship, and it becomes all about what the other person wants, and then you can't even find your voice anymore in that relationship. That's when it's time to turn it back on you. Put all of your attention back on yourself. Figure out what makes you, what makes you happy, because a lot of times we don't even know. Sometimes we get into relationships when we're so young, and we've been there forever, and we don't even really know who we are, because you don't really get a chance to learn who you are until you're older. As kids, we're just kind of meandering through life. We don't really know what's going on. It's not until you get older that you really appreciate who you are and love who you are. So it's time to put that attention back on yourself again so that you can figure out what makes you happy, what makes you you. And again, journaling is a great way to do that, using affirmations, doing some meditations, doing all of that inner work for yourself, and you deserve that. So whatever happened, use those negative emotions to fuel you to be better. Either I am going to work on myself now, I know what I need to work on, or I am going to spruce up my resume and get a better job. I'm going to use this to fuel me to look for something I really want. Or I'm going to work on me and be happy for me again. Whatever you do, it is really important not to dwell on what happened in the past. We can reflect on the past as a means of trying to figure out what was I supposed to learn, but not with shame, not with guilt, not with any of those emotions. Rather just in a curious way that we're learning, we're trying to figure out, what am I supposed to be learning? What am I taking forward from this? You need to forgive yourself too, because a lot of people, we are humans, we want to blame ourselves when things don't go our way. Like, there was something that I could have done. I had this whole conversation with someone yesterday. We were talking about our moms, and her mom had already passed away and mine is ill. We're talking about all the things we should have done when we knew in the beginning. And then finally, we both were just like, you can't fix that now. There's nothing that you can do. I don't have a DeLorean. I can't go back in time, and I can't fix or change any of the things that I wish I would know now. But what I can do is use what I've learned. It's important for people to start paying attention to their health. And when they're starting to not feel good, go to the doctor sooner. It's important to look for signs. It's important to eat healthier. It's important to make sure your life is balanced. These are all of the things that I'm learning as I'm going through this. And so I could sit here and blame myself all day long. That's not going to change anything. It's not going to help me. It's just going to put me in a mental prison, and I'm going to feel angry and resentful and upset. Or I could just say, here's what I've learned, and I'm going to take this and try to be better in the future. And that's much, much better. And so it's important that you forgive yourself, because oftentimes we're like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I say that? Why didn't I do this? Stop doing that to yourself. You don't know that if you had done something differently, things would have worked out for you anyway. So don't beat yourself up for that. Instead, how can I take what I've learned from this and how can I use it to make it better in the future? It's too late to go back and change anything, but you can take personal responsibility and say, okay, I know what I did wrong. I know what I need to do differently in the future, and this is how I am going to react in the future. You could even write yourself a letter if you want, explaining what you should have done, what you should have said, just for future use. And sometimes it's just so you get it out of your head, so you're not continuously running that record in your head. You can write in a journal and journal what you are feeling. And especially if you're suffering from a loss, how did you feel about that person? How did that person make you feel? Just get it all out there so you're not just dwelling on it over and over and over. Again, our past mistakes generally help guide us in the future so that we don't keep doing the same things over and over and over again. Because that is the definition of insanity, is just continuing to have the same patterns of behavior over and over again and thinking that it's going to get us some kind of different result. It doesn't, and it won't. So use what you've done in the past to allow you to become stronger and better. Listen, every single person out there has done something in their past that makes them feel stupid or dumb when they look back on it. That's human. You're not stupid or dumb. Maybe the thing you did wasn't the brightest thing in the world to do, but now you've learned from it. And that is the only way we learn, is by doing. There's no way that you would learn things if you didn't do it yourself or you didn't see someone else do it and go, oh, yeah, that's why you shouldn't stick your finger in a light socket, because then you'll electrocute yourself. Okay, good to know. Why do we know that? Because someone told us that. We saw someone do it. We have to experience things in life in order for us to understand and to learn and to grow and to change our behavior. But until we experience things, sometimes we don't know. And if you haven't had somebody telling you how you should be in a relationship or how things should be, and then you get out in one and you mess up, that's a part of the process. So be willing to let go of those feelings of, I was so dumb when I did that. Just let that go. That's not serving you. And we don't think you're dumb anyway, and the universe doesn't think you're dumb. You don't think a baby is dumb when the baby puts things in its mouth that it shouldn't. You're like, oh, the baby doesn't know any better. Of course, that's what we're doing. We're kind of like giant babies wandering the earth trying to figure everything out because we don't know. We don't have the knowledge yet. Or even if you did, now you know not to do that again. So have grace. Forgive yourself for any mistakes that you made in the past, any way that maybe you contributed to your job loss or your relationship loss. Anyway, forgive yourself. Be gentle on yourself. You're just learning. You've got to remember that. I am just learning. As a teacher, I would never point out a child and make them feel stupid for making a mistake. I'm always like, good try, you were close. Let's see if we can really get that down and we can fix it. Because it's not about making you feel bad because you didn't know. It's about learning and changing the way you do things so that in the future you get different results. Because without change, you're going to get the same results over and over again. So think about the situation. When I did this, it got me this result. How about if in the future I try something different? How could I do that in a different way so that I get a different result next time? a lot of things you can do, if well, I lost that job because I was late to it every single day. Okay, in the future, I need to be better about getting to work on time. Or I lost that relationship because I was jealous of everything and everyone. I need to figure that out. Like, why was I jealous? What was going on? Did I have a reason to be? So start digging in with curiosity. How can I be better next time? And remember that if things happen, like things didn't go your way because you missed an opportunity, know that it's okay. You have the opportunity from day to day to do different things, and not everything is aligned for you. The really important thing to remember is that we have to be willing to go with the flow sometimes in life. We have to accept that not everything that we want is meant for us. And it's not because we don't deserve it. It's not that at all. That's not the way the universe works. It could be because we need something better. The universe knows what we need. So sometimes it moves people or jobs out of our way in order to make room for better, or for something that is more fitting and suited for us. We don't always know what's best for us. And we can't see the whole picture. We can't see the future. But the universe does. So we need to get out of our own way sometimes and just be able to go with the flow of life and be okay with not always knowing what happens, not always knowing how things are going to turn out, but trusting that what is going to happen will be for our highest good. And I think that this is probably the most difficult thing, and the most difficult part of all of this is having that trust. Because there are so many of us out there who feel like we can't trust anyone. How can I trust? Look what happened the last time I did. The thing is, you can trust the universe. And we have to be okay with whatever happens. And that is difficult because we want to control every little thing in our lives. And when things are out of control and you feel out of control, we don't like that feeling. That's a difficult and uncomfortable place to trust so much that the universe will bring you what's for your highest good, that you let go and just allow. And that is what we need to start doing in our lives. But so many of us have a hard time doing that. We can't do that, and we won't get out of our own way. So we continue to try to control everything. And instead of helping ourselves, we actually make a bigger mess out of things. So how do you trust, let go, and just go on with your life? And the overthinking is a big part of that. Overthinking causes you so much anxiety, and it robs you of your joy. And that's one of the conversations that I had with my mom recently. Was she was scared, and she said, I don't know what to do because I just can't stop thinking about what's going to happen. And I understood that because I've been there. We've all been there. Overthinking is a killer of all joy, and it's not going to change a thing. If you overthink a situation, it's not going to go in and solve it for you. And in fact, when we overthink, we're usually less likely to hear and get guidance from the universe because we're not really listening. We're listening to our own thoughts, which are usually fear-based thoughts, right? Like, how is this ever going to work out? How's this going to happen? I just don't understand. I don't trust. I don't this. I don't that. We've got to learn how to go to something else when those thoughts come in. The art of distraction is a beautiful thing. Mindfulness is all about being in the present moment. So when you can distract yourself with something that's happening right here and right now, we reset our central nervous system and we allow ourselves to stop being in that panic mode, that fight or flight mode, which is what the overthinking, you're going into that. So you've got to calm down. There are a lot of tools you can use when you start noticing that you're in that space. I love EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, the tapping, because it's so easy and so quick, and it can quickly change your attention from whatever you're thinking about to a better thought, a better feeling. And there are lots of different tappings. So if you're afraid, look up tapping fear, and it can help you work through that emotion. Guided meditations are great, just like a 3-minute quick clearing. You don't even have to have guided. You can just sit there, close your eyes, Take in some deep breaths for a count of 3 and just reset yourself. Like, I'm not going to allow this to control me and to overtake me, because you're not going to get guidance from the universe if you're in that panic mode all the time and you're in fear-based thoughts. You've got to be able to calm down, take a breath, and know that everything's going to be okay. The song that keeps playing over and over for me is "Every Little Thing's Going to Be All Right." And I know it will be, no matter what happens. And I have to trust that. No matter what happens, it's going to be okay. I don't think that the universe brings us to situations that we can't handle. It may feel overwhelming. It may feel like you can't, but I promise you, you can. There's so many tools out there to help you. So again, the art of distraction. Find something. Gratitude is amazing. It can shift your attitude in a quick, small amount of time. Look around you. What are 5 things you're grateful for right now? What blessings do you see in your life right now? What do you have to look forward to right now? I used to do that when I worked in my old school district. I would look for when was the next day off we had? When was the next holiday? When was the next celebration? And that would get me through a week where maybe I was struggling because I had something to look forward to. So what do you have to look forward to? Or plan something that gives you something to look forward to. There's always something to be grateful for. Take a breath, do some self-care, watch a good show, read a good book, do some things that distract you from that overthinking, because the overthinking is really just fear coming in and causing you to be worried that things won't work out. But things always work out, even if they don't work out the way you thought they would. That's not things not working out. That's just, hey, no, because I have something better for you, so trust me. Trust the universe. And if you need help with that mindset, I would love to work with you. I coach people all the time on how to get out of those negative mindset patterns, how to stop the negative thinking, how to change that so that you can attract better situations into your life, better experiences, so you're not so miserable all of the time. If you want to work with me, I offer one-on-one coaching in my 30-day purposeful program. And I also offer readings if you just want to get a reading with me, or Reiki sessions. I would love to work with you. You can go to my website, melissaoatman.com. You'll see all the services I offer. You can even book a free discovery call with me. You are worth working on yourself and learning how to get out of your own way, because you deserve so many beautiful things. And if you feel like things aren't working out for you so far, it's probably just because you're doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. If you want to see things change, you have to change. It has to start with you. But you can do it, and I'm here for you, and I want to thank you so much for always listening to my podcast. I hope that it helps you. Don't hesitate to reach out if you want to talk to me, if you need anything, if you have ideas for podcast episodes. I'd love to talk to you. I hope you guys have a fabulous day from wherever you're listening. I wanted to pull a card for you today, and the card I pulled is from my Divine Whispers deck. And the first card is I Surrender. It's time to surrender the outcome of a particular situation. When you let go of control and realize that the universe has your back, you will experience immense peace. You can't control how or when things show up because it will happen in divine timing. So forget the how for now. When we try to control how and when things show up, we are allowing fear to step in. Fear often makes a mess of things. Simply breathe, relax, and trust in the awesome power of the universe. You are in good hands. Your daily mantra for this card that you can repeat to yourself is, I am divinely guided and protected. The universe is working behind the scenes on my behalf. Everything is working out perfectly for me. And the second card you got is things are shifting. You may be feeling heavy energies right now, and that is because you are experiencing a shift. You, my beloved, are shifting into newer and higher energies, and you are definitely feeling it. You may be experiencing body aches, fatigue, headaches, and more. It's perfectly normal to experience this as you are up-leveling spiritually. Be gentle with yourself right now, knowing that there are beautiful and amazing things on the horizon for you. Go get a Reiki session or a massage. Take care of yourself and know that you are most certainly not going crazy. You are just transforming into the beautiful soul that you were always meant to be. Your daily mantra for this card is, I am shifting and changing. I am becoming a better version of myself. It is okay for me to take it easy right now. I choose to put myself and my needs first right now. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening. And don't forget to share this podcast with anyone you think might also enjoy it. Thank you for those of you who have already done that. I hope that you guys have a beautiful day from wherever you're listening. As always, I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.